Hey guys, a viewer wanted to know what my siding patterns were against some of the most popular decks. Uh, as you guys know, games 2 and 3 are very important, and that's what makes the game very dynamic. But anyway, let's start with Black Wings. So, against Black Wings, I like to take out the draw traps because if you're under DDV, these aren't very good. If you draw into a fairy, that's bad. And yeah, these don't. Obviously, these help you get out of Dust Shoot, but DDV lasts 3 turns, so you don't want to have a totally dead card for 3 whole turns, you know. So obviously, you take out Oppression against Black Wings, Barrier Statue. Black Wings aren't frogs, so I'm okay with taking out Barrier Statue. Take out Nobleman of Crossout. They don't really set that much. I take out the second Oppression. I take out 1 Orange Light because stopping their effects isn't that big of a priority. They're known to play Skill Drain, so there's that. It's a little controversial. I don't like Dust Shoot against Black Wings because, you know, they set 5, and I know sometimes they can get a big hand because of Whirlwind, but I don't know. For me, Dust Shoot is dead a lot against the birds. Iados. I'd rather just play Cyber Dragon against Black Wings, because if they DDV you and you have a graveyard full of fairies, this becomes dead. And Raikou. I take out Raikou because, you know, they can just Sirocco pump Bora and then do a bunch of piercing damage. So these are the 10 cards I take out against Black Wings. And the 10 cards I bring in, I like Gores, you know, protect you from dying early. You know, everyone knows how Black Wings can just kill you out of nowhere. Purple Light for deck dev. They have all sorts of nasty traps. They're even playing 7 tools now, which this can't stop, but it can stop all the other traps, so that's good. Consecrated Light. I actually bumped this up to 2. That's how prevalent birds are now. Cyber Dragon. So I actually main 1 Cyber Dragon already, so I like to bring in the second one. To be honest, even if I'm going first, I still like to bring in the Cyber Dragon because it beats over Sirocco and stuff like that. So I like Twister. A lot of people, obviously if you have Dust Tornadoes, bring it in. But they have access to 2 Whirlwinds, so I think Twister is worth bringing in against Black Wings. I know people don't like to play Twister in the first place, but if you're going to play it, then yeah, obviously bring it in versus Black Wings. So everyone knows you got to play Starlight Road against Black Wings. All the top Blackwing players can read this card, but it's still worth it in my opinion. Like, they might just think I set draw traps or something and then slam Icarus or Heavy Storm. So I like Malevolent Catastrophe because they are a heavy back row deck. You just got to make sure this thing doesn't get Starlight Roaded, but you know, sometimes you'll get lucky and they have Oppression up or something and you can freely Malevolent Catastrophe. Traps done. Just like Purple Light, there's a lot of nasty traps you need to stop. Shadow Mirror, I like this card. It's not that good against Black Wings. It does something, but obviously it doesn't stop the Whirlwind nonsense, but it's worth bringing in. And to protect it, I like Dark Bribe. People are still sleeping on Dark Bribe. The fact that it stops stuff like MST, I like it. What's a +1 when you can, you know, protect your Consecrated from Fissure or whatever. But anyway, that's Black Wings. Let's do Vayu next. So against Vayu, same thing. I like to take out this because of DV. Dust Shoot. I don't like Dust Shoot against Vayu. We can debate about this in the comments. Obvious. Once again, I don't like the draw traps. I'm not a fan of Cold Wave against Vayu. Because if you slam it, they might just chain DDV or whatever. I also don't like Warrior Lady against Vayu. There's not very many monsters that are essential to their game plan, like for example Alias and Hero Beat. So I like to take her out. Even if you banish something, they can just bring it back with a return. And also if she attacks a hamster, that's no bueno. And Cyber Dragon, I don't like Cyber Dragon against Vayu because it can get oppression, you know. And yeah, if you attack over a hamster big whoop, they still get the Raikou. So yeah, I side pretty heavy against the birds, 10 cards each. Now let's see what I bring in versus Vayu. So the most important thing is Shadow Mirror. It's actually very good against Vayu. This is like their Consecrated Light, kind of. I expect to see this card played much more in the coming weeks. Gotta protect it with Dark Bribe. Trap Stun because like the other birds, they have access to DDV. I also like Road against Vayu. Vayu plays a lot of sweepers actually, Torrential and Mirror Force and Heavy Storm, and sometimes if you get lucky you can stop a DDV with this. Consecrated Light. Some fairy players, I understand this isn't as detrimental to their game plan, but I still think it's worth bringing in. You can always pitch it for Purple Light. It adds to the graveyard count for Christia. Yeah, I like it. Purple Light comes in clutch. Oh, Gores. Gores is so good against Vayu because they struggle to get over his stats. He's really good. Some of the best Vayu players will probably bring in Dinah against you just because they're that scared of Gores. Obviously, the 2 more knocks. I actually main 1 knock, so I just like to bring in the other 2 knocks because their whole game plan is to set. I don't bring these in against Nitro Vayu, but sometimes you can't tell what they're on if you beat them too fast or they beat you too fast. But traditional Vayu is the more potent deck, I'd say. So yeah, I like to bring in 2 more knocks. And finally, Soul Release. You know, fairies are the best Soul Release deck. Against Vayu, it's pretty good, unless they flip return right after, but this also helps you fix your graveyard in case they DDV you. Not a lot of decks play even 1 Soul Release, but fairies can get away with multiple copies. So yeah, those are the birds. I guess the third biggest threat in the format is Hero Frogs. Let's see, against Hero Frogs, obviously I take out Consecrated. Yeah, I take out Knock. Take out Storm. It's not that good against Hero Frogs. By the way, my list hasn't really changed since I won the Ulti Caius. The side deck a little bit, but let's see. Cold Wave, like I said, they're not that much of a back row heavy deck. Yeah, I don't really, and Guardian Yatos. Because if they water art you and choose a monster, this thing dies. Yeah, there's really not much. Fairies have a pretty good matchup against Hero Frogs, I'd say. Unless they dupe block you turn 1 or something like that. So 5 cards. And in my side deck, obviously this Designator, because they're a big hand deck and they search a lot. Cyber Dragon, just to get over walls. Mind Crush, they're a big hand deck. It's pretty easy to tell when they have Caius or Miracle Fusion. I promise you I'm not speaking out of ego, like you'll be able to read it. And Starlight Road, because I have so many outs to Absol, like Compulse and Regeki Break, and a Mirror Force. So once you destroy the Absol, it becomes kind of easy to proc the Starlight Road. Yeah, I bring in Starlight Road a lot. People ask me, well, why don't you just main it? Well, that's because I main 2 oppressions. I don't want there to be conflicting strategies. So I'm going to do one more. It's going to be all the lightsworn variants. I think Twilight's the biggest one to worry about, but... So, against lightsworns, take out Trap Stun. Compulse is not good against any lightsworn variants because they can just resummon their monsters. You can just pitch, even if you compulse a wolf, they can just pitch it with their draw card. And it doesn't really do anything against JD. Even Book of Moon is better than compulse against JD. Let's see. Warrior Lady's not that good against them for reasons I mentioned earlier. You know, they don't have any super important monsters to banish. And Statue, obviously. And Yados. Yados is such a game 1 card. I take it out a lot, I'm not gonna lie. And then obviously these. You know, that's actually a bit much. You can get away with playing Warrior Lady. I'm not gonna lie, she does. You know what? Yeah, keep it in the main deck because she plays around Honest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 cards. Yeah, I know it's embarrassing that I don't have my side deck patterns down airtight, but they can always change. Anyway, Cyber Dragon's good against them. That way you can neutralize a Raikou and then summon your own monster. Starlight Road, obviously, they all play JD. Mind Crush, because you can read Honest, you can read Celestia, or even stop their searches. Like sometimes they play Gold Sark. Same thing with Designator. Sorrel is probably the best card against all Lightsworn variants. Yeah, nobody likes to play Sorrel's. People like Kaiku or DD Crow, but I like Sorrel's. Nox, because Raikou's annoying, and so is Arcus. Purple Light, I like it because usually if they beckoning you, it's lights out. So this comes in clutch. And then Gores. You know, sometimes they spam the field and then they rush you. This will keep you from dying. So yeah. So if you're gonna play fairies in 2026, good luck. This is how I would decide. It's getting competitive, man. Some of my buddies are at LDS right now. They're doing good from last I heard. Hopefully some of them top, but you know, at the same time, it's kind of a good opportunity to play fairies right now because of all the birds running around. Like you can get pretty far if you get a lucky bracket. But yeah, thanks for watching.